Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Land of Music podcast with your host, Adam Roach.
All right, here we are. Once again, Andrew, Chris, welcome.
What's happening?
Thanks.
Nothing much. So yeah, it's all happening today. Is today the actual release date, or has it already been?
They started going out about 4 or 5 days ago after a long and embarrassing delay.
What's the album we're talking about here?
Oh, the album we're talking about is it's right there. I called it the 51 session. I called it the 5150 sessions. Van Halen live at 5150, and on the cover it says Ed, Allen, Wolf, just to get across that these are from my time filming there, and there is no singer.
Yep.
Or as a friend joked, this is the best Van Halen karaoke you can get.
Now, Chris, you've heard all this too, haven't you? The album?
And Chris helped me put it together. So did you.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people watching are like, who's this dude? So maybe I should introduce myself and explain a little bit. So for anybody who's wondering why I'm here, I've known Andrew for a bit. And the simplest way to say it, I guess, is on two things at the same time. I'm a working guitar player like Adam, and I'm a hardcore Eddie Van Halen historian. And to do something like this, you need both of those things. I've been playing guitar for over 20 years because of Ed. I saw Van Halen when I was 9, completely changed my life. From that point on, I was one of the kids who practiced 10, 15, 20 hours a day, every day. Started writing songs at 12. Was playing bars before I was old enough to be in them. Eventually started to make part of my living doing it anyways. On the musician side, I've been really lucky. I got to work with Ronnie Champagne, who did the first couple Jane's Addiction records and Alice in Chains. Worked with Whitehorn Cursed, who played with Iggy Pop. Took a guitar lesson with Joe Satriani, which is a crazy story. But anyways, that led to me releasing my own music. I had some Canadian heavyweights help me on my first single. It managed to hit radio, and I mean, the whole reason for that is because of Ed. And then on the other half of things, the 20 years studying Ed, kind of like Adam, just a diehard fan, diving into every little detail of him, knowing things like his favorite record was So by Peter Gabriel, just all sorts of like little nuances about Ed. I have gone to Sunset Sound. I visited Andrew down in California, been up respectfully to the house, not creepily, but seen the property. Also went to Pasadena, saw the house that they grew up in where Ed painted the guitar, and then got the privilege of going to Alex's live talk, which was one of the coolest moments of my life. And I guess that's kind of the basis of it. So
Yeah, very good. So it's pretty much nearly the same like me, but just I'm a bit older, that's all.
Yeah, so am I.
which is cool, because I mean, Adam, you grew up with it at the time, and you've also met Ed. Unfortunately, I never got to meet Ed, and then Andrew, obviously, with his time being with Ed and being a fly on the wall and all he did, and then you've got me, which is a younger generation that found the love that he had, and it's kind of full circle.
Yeah, no, it's really good. So basically, yourself and myself, we helped Andrew with going through the tracks. So there was 4 or 5 different sessions of each track? Is that right?
We had multiple days, and I knew that as far as selecting which songs from which days, that should not fall on me. I'm not a guitar player. I'm not a musician. And I don't have the historical knowledge of Van Halen that you guys do. So I did what anybody in my position should do. I teamed up with people smarter than me. And yeah, man, I think I just sent you guys everything.
Yeah. Now, the really cool thing is, I mean, I know you sent the tracks to both of us, and we both made notes on each one, and I'm pretty sure like there's a lot of the same that we chose that's on the final cut of the album.
Yeah, it was interesting to see. I'll let Chris chime in, but it was interesting to see how you guys chose a lot of the same ones.
Mm.
But then when you guys chose different ones, I was always tempted to get on the phone and just like have you guys fight it out. No, October was far better. And just start fighting like Eddie and Al. Fuck you, Chris.
Yeah, I mean they're all good. Yeah, there's just certain little things. Yeah, it's just kind of personal preference, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's really cool because you guys are going to catch all the little idiosyncrasies, like maybe what made that song special on that day, and I wasn't able to do that, so I handed it to guys smarter than me.
Yeah, there was a bunch of days to go through. Like it was, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but I think even just that part of kind of curating it, like it was like a 4 or 5 month process of like going through every rehearsal and little detail and, kind of like listening to all the versions of Hoffer Teacher back to back to back to back to back and over and over and over again. I mean, Ed never did the same thing twice too, which also made the process that much more. I'm going to say, being a big Van Halen fan, it was almost like it was a bit of, it was not easy to say the least.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, talking about Hoffer Teacher, that's a good example. Like every time we played it was different, and those little riffs in between it, he'll change the timing and just, I mean, you could probably release 5 of these albums.
Yeah, well, we'll just do this one. No, I mean, I handed it over to you guys because, and I know that, no pun intended, but I know at this point, like with my book and with the film, I always use the word respect. And so when it came to the record, it was out of respect to Ed as well. Like, I shouldn't be choosing these songs. Let these songs be chosen by guys like you guys. So it wasn't just thrown together. I didn't just take some MP3s and send them off to China. It was a process.
That's good. So what I'll do, I'll get the tracks up here. So we have a quick look at that. There's the track listing and the different dates, ending in side A, side B. So
I mean, the closest I came to, deciding something was like, what does it sound like when you drop the needle on side 1 or in side A on track 1?
Yep.
After that, I left it to you guys. And then at the bottom, you see the credits of Howard Merlin, who mixed and mastered it.
Yep.
I met him through various bands I've shot. He owns this amazing fucking studio, dude, on this like island off the coast of Florida. I went there to shoot an artist once. I was supposed to be there 3 days, but I was working on the book at the time. I just kind of hung out a little bit longer and worked on this book. But he's a fucking genius, man. So, just to add to like that attention to detail, I also didn't just take the files and again throw them onto some server somewhere. Like, I did take the time and effort to have them mixed and mastered by a badass.
Yep. So all the copies, you've got all the copies now, haven't you? Like, see behind you there.
Yeah. So so this thing has been delayed for so long, and I can apologize because I didn't really understand this process. The way it's presented when you're looking online, it's presented as some easy, streamlined thing. But I think that's like if you're making your mom a record for Mother's Day. When you get into, I want this weight of vinyl, not this other weight. When you start getting into the fine-tuned details like that, like I'm not sending them MP3s, I'm sending them uncompressed WAV files. Then the process just takes a lot fucking longer. So, and I had the vinyl pressed at one company, but then when it came to the jackets, I wanted those to be really high quality. So I found a company in LA. So I had the vinyl shipped, then I drove to LA, picked up the jackets, drove back from LA, and started packing records.
Yeah.
So yeah, the delay is all my fault, and I sincerely apologize.
Well, it wasn't all your fault. I mean, it was a process to go through this stuff, and like you guys say, I mean, the bottom line, not the bottom line, but Ed's perfectionism and how he needed to be, this needed to stand up to his legacy, and where we felt that it would have his approval. I mean, look at the stories of him crash testing the 5153, or him being in the boardroom with Hartley Peavy and putting his guitar back together and throwing it across the room and picking it up and going, "Don't tell me it's shipping," or all the songs on the wall at 5150 that never came out because they weren't perfect. So yeah. I think that's a big part of it too. We wanted to do right by Ed, and so some of the audio as well, where maybe Ed wasn't having the best day, it was like, let's make sure that whatever comes out is at that level.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's the same I did with the vinyls on the jackets. Was I didn't go to some random company online and just place an order or get it printed from Amazon.
Yeah, that's good.
It was the same with the book. Like, I had the book made in the States by a reputable company. I don't know. Like, if it's going to involve it, well, I like to set the bar high for everything, but when it comes to honoring Ed, like, I'm not feeling poetic, so shit needs to be perfect.
Yeah. Now, can we just go just back a little bit, because I just realized there might be some people that haven't seen our other 10 interviews that we've done so far and think, who is this guy now? So can you just explain how you got these recordings? Yeah, there we go. There's a book. So it's in the book as well.
There's a book.
Yeah, so you got
which by the way is currently sold out on Amazon, but it's getting restocked tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Actually. So
yeah.
So I'll try to keep it really concise.
All right.
So as a young music video director, a record producer named Glenn Ballard was helping introduce me to artists. And in 2004, Eddie Van Halen was frustrated one night and basically said he wished there was somebody here to film his side of this shit. And Glenn Ballard said, "I know this kid." And so my phone rings at 3:00 in the morning, and all I hear is, "Are you Andrew Bennett?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "It's Ed." I said, "Ed who?" He says, "Eddie Van Halen." And I shit you not, I said, "What's up, Eddie Van Halen?" He says, "What are you doing right now?" I said, "Nothing." He goes, "Good, come on here, I want to meet you." You just kind of hear this phone drop across the soundboard or whatever. And Glenn Ballard picks it up and gives me these very intricate instructions on how to get there. And I park and I get out of the car, and Glenn Ballard comes out, hugs me, and says, "Good luck, man. Good luck." And then he just drove off. And then out comes Ed. He just walks up to me and he goes, "So you're Andrew Bennett?" And I said, "So you're Eddie Van Halen?" He goes, "Last time I checked." And I should say that Glenn Ballard showed Eddie the trailer for a documentary I did on Deftones. It was the very first thing I'd ever done. But Warner Brothers called that movie dark and depressing. But Eddie loved it. So we sat down and, he said, "Let's get it out of the way. What do you know about me? And what do you know about my band?" And just my generation, like Gen X, just kind of missed Van Halen, like this little group. And I said, "Do you want me to be honest?" And he said, "No, I called you at 3 a.m. to come to my house and lie to me." "Yeah, be honest." And I said, "I know the song Jump because it came out when I was 8 and it's called Jump." He goes, "All right, what else?" And I said, "I know that Right Here, Right Now song because it was in a Pepsi commercial in the 90s. He laughs. He goes, "All right, keep going." And I said, "No disrespect at all." And I explained like Gen X. I said, "But that's just all I know about you." And he goes, "Andrew, I have not met anybody in 30 years that doesn't know everything about me. You and we're going to get along great." And he just kisses me on the lips and says, "All right, I'll see you tomorrow." And he just walked back down to his house and left me inside 5150. So I went up there. I was shooting. Glenn Ballard decided to hire me to make a little music video for this song called It's About Time. We made this gritty little black and white video. And I went on my way. I got into music videos. Then in 06, my phone rang again, and it was Ed. He just says, Andrew, it's Ed. I said, what's up, Ed? He goes, I kicked that bass player out of my band. I'm replacing him with my 15-year-old kid. You should film this shit. And what I thought was going to be 1 or 2 days turned into 1 or 2 weeks, which turned into months of amazing days. You know, they would rehearse 2 or 3 times a week. I'd film these full rehearsals. And we did that for months. So with the audio, there were points, I'm going to be honest, I'm not really sure why. But there were points where at the end of the rehearsals, the engineer would go, hey, Andrew. And he would just hand me this disc. And it was that day's rehearsals in uncompressed WAV files and directly from the 5150 board. And I'll let you guys say that they sound amazing, so I don't come off like some kind of fucking salesman. But
Definitely.
as I'm flanked with a stack of records, like this was an accident. So yeah, I was just given these random days of full rehearsals. And, you know, I'll let you guys speak on this, but it's also cool because you hear like some tuning and some tweaking, you know. I'll let you guys touch on that.
Yeah. Chris.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, that was one thing that I really wanted to mention and bring up is for everybody who's seen the collection, which is phenomenal. You get a different sense, obviously, of visually being a fly on the wall. Whereas with this record, you're getting the audio straight from the soundboard. And the cool thing with that for me is that you kind of get a sense of how Ed and Al liked things to sound. And like I said to Andrew not that long ago, like, and Adam, you know this as well, that like seeing Van Halen was like a religious experience. And when like Ed would be doing like a dive bomb, it sounded like a V8 or a Harley ripping through the arena, or just the delays and the echoes. It was like UFOs were descending from the sky almost, right?
Yep.
And that's something that you don't get on the records. And unless you were there, you didn't really get that. And with the audio from the board, you kind of get a sense of that just with his effects and the way everything is. So that's super cool. And then the fact too, obviously, like the collection, that there is no singer. There's a lot of minute little things with you know, Ed and Al in particular, but Wolf as well, because you can hear the bass very clearly for once, which is great. But just like, you know, I'll give an example of like On Fire, when Alex is doing the fills, Ed is like super tight with him there. And that's stuff that you don't necessarily pick up on the records. And with the collection, it's like there's so much going on visually that maybe you didn't quite grab that, I guess.
Yeah. No, definitely, I agree 100%. And I think the other thing is just, like you're saying, with there's different parts they do come up with that aren't on the album. You just imagine, you know, them seeing it together, seeing the videos as well. But you know, that brother connection, I guess. And now with Wolfgang as well, the whole connection between the three Van Halens, that really comes across on this record. It's not like just, okay, let's rehearse this. It's got to be like this. They change all the time, but everything they change is perfect. Like, again, it could be, totally different song. And I think there are some, I have to go back and have a listen, but there were some of the recordings where they'll jam a little bit at the start before they went into the song.
That was definitely a part of the curation process, was really trying to give the listener kind of that thing, because that's a super special treat. So I know, for example, like I was really, really adamant. I think it was the most passionate I got about in the curation process was there needed to be this one version of Romeo Delight over the other ones because of the breakdown. Wolf just starts doing this sick breakdown and Ed's just like in there. And like within a second, I had the biggest smile on my face I think I've ever had, because it's something that you don't get. So that was definitely a big part of it, was, okay, let's find kind of those like hidden gems and put some of them in there at least,
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I
overall.
like that it made you smile.
Yeah.
Well, I do,
Yeah.
man. Like, I mean, this is from my Van Halen collection of things. Like, this is the last thing. Like, I'm bowing out, and the film collection is sold out, so that's not available anymore.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that. So that's no longer?
Yeah, no longer.
Okay.
Like, I'm a man of my word. I limited it to a certain number, and I did it.
Yep.
But the book's getting restocked on Amazon. But like, not to sound corny, man, but especially people who watch the footage, but also people who read the book. Like, I've gotten to know a lot of people. Like, I've talked to people on the phone for hours, and obviously, like, selling something is what it is. But it's really cool to talk to people who've been lifelong fans, who getting a look at stuff like this that's different. And there's been a lot of like Chris's reaction, like, man, it made me smile. It made me so happy. I'm back in California, so I'm going to just say, like, it's fucking rad. It is. It's cool, man. It's fucking awesome to see that it's like something that also makes people happy.
Yeah. Now, are you signing these copies, or are you just sending them out as is?
If somebody wants me to sign one, some people have asked. If somebody wants me to sign one, I'm more than happy to sign it. But the idea of like being like, oh, a signed copy for this much money, like, dude, I'm just a guy who got lucky. I mean, I am a professional filmmaker, but at the end of the day, like, this is about Ed. But when people ask me to sign them, I'm very humbled and happy to.
Yeah. So where's the best place for people to get this?
vhsessions.com.
Okay. And it's all there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, much like I'm not a web designer. So it's very, my typical, very basic black and white, clean, easy to understand.
Yep.
And they are fully stocked.
Is this going all around the world, or is it just mainland States?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm happy to ship all around the world.
Okay.
I think there's a little shipping fee for nothing personal, my man. But for my Australian friends, yeah, it's expensive, guys.
It is. I know.
Yeah, it's not cheap. But I'm also not charging, I'm splitting the rate with the customer. So I'm not putting it all on them.
Yeah. Well, actually, I might figure something out too, where, like I did with the Steve Rosen book. So he would send me over 10 books to figure out a lot cheaper. And then I would send them out, to Australia. So anyone listening in Australia, let me know. And I might be able to arrange some cheaper shipping as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you, man.
No problem.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's it. Now, we can edit this, but did you want to mention the price or leave it to the website?
Oh, $50. I kept it very clean and simple. And there's the cover. Comes in a basic white sleeve. Am I doing this right? For vinyl nerds, it's 180 gram vinyl. I didn't do 140. I did 180.
And that's from Germany, correct?
Yeah, I had them done in a nice place in Germany.
Oh, nice.
And then I had the covers done at a place out of Los Angeles. Shout out to Slotin Printing, SLOUGHTON. They were awesome, man. I didn't just order online from them and then have them ship them to me, actually. He knew that I was really concerned about the quality of everything, especially the images, that they're not blotchy, it's perfect. And so, yet again, I think of like, kind of what would Ed do, right?
Yeah.
Ed would just get in the car and drive to the factory. So that's what I did. Yeah, I don't drive, but I rented a car for a day. I drove on a freeway. That was fucking terrifying. And then I went to the factory, man. Him and I like walked around the factory. I'll post a photo on Facebook at some point. Yeah. But him and I, he showed me the whole factory. He showed me how it's all done. We had skateboarding in common, talked about skateboarding. I went directly to the factory and got to know the owner and walked around.
Yeah, that's really good.
And then loaded a Prius. I wasn't thinking about the trip back. Oops. I rented a Prius. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, so go out to the warehouse, doc. They're out there. And I was like, oh shit. We got them in there.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm renting Priuses and shoving things in a car. I'm putting in effort, guys. I really am.
Yeah, that's good. I was going to say, I have seen some people commenting saying, will it be available on CD? So is it just vinyl?
Just the vinyl, man. I don't know. I mean, am I just a romantic? Like, there's just something about a vinyl record.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of the same with the book, that I didn't do a paperback. You know, where I didn't use flat paper. I had glossy paper done. And there's just no alternative. It's kind of like Ed. Like, a paperback to me would not have been perfect.
Yep.
So,
it kind of.
but I like the sound of it. Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to say that it kind of pays homage to the stuff too, because if you look at the track list, all that stuff was on vinyl long before it ever came out on CD as well. So it kind of like goes back to the early days and kind of pays homage to that in a sense as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I just, like I do with a lot of things, I just kind of sometimes close my eyes and think like, if I'm talking to Ed, if I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this thing, and if I said, should I do it on CD? I don't think he would want it. I think he would say, no, keep it on vinyl. I like that. Keep it on vinyl.
Yeah.
With that smile on his face.
Yeah. Did you say you have sent some out already? You sent some out last week?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I had to do this with the book where I show up to a post office because I print out everything at home. I print out the labels with the tracking numbers. I do all the packaging and sealing myself. But I don't like the idea of just dropping them in a box at the post office one after the other. So I actually go to the counter and have them scan them in. So I watch them go into the system. And so I had the experience the other day of going in with giant boxes and the people behind me assuming that I'm just mailing out these 6 boxes, only to find out that I'm opening up these boxes and just pulling one record out of another and another and another. But like I did with the books, I always check my shoulder. And if there's 2 people behind me, I just go, you should definitely go before me. Because I only had one guy once make some kind of noise where he goes, oh, you got to be fucking kidding me. And it was funny because I was going to let him go in front of me. And instead I just turned around and I go, I don't know, man. You should get here before me next time. But the key was to find the nice privately owned business that has USPS connection, because they're 100%, they're just way more reliable than something getting tossed into the large bin at the post office. Yeah. So I do the same thing. They scan them in one after another after another.
Yeah.
So,
now, I've actually never had a vinyl sent to me here. So when you send, does it come in another box?
Yeah.
There's been some attention to detail with the boxes too. I'm just going to say for Andrew.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared for this.
That's all right. Sorry, my fault.
This would be an example. This one is actually going to the UK, so the postage looks a little different. But wait, cover up the man's name.
That's okay.
So there on the back with the fragile stickers. So it's a box specifically made for 12-inch vinyls. So you place it down, 2 heavy flaps go on the side, 2 more heavy flaps come in. It's done with packing tape, 360 around. The vinyls, because I bought the vinyls separate from the jackets, the vinyls came in white paper sleeves, or no, I bought the white paper sleeves, and the vinyls came in some kind of like nice plastic film. Like each one was individually in this plastic film. So I actually kept them in the film, put that in the sleeve, and then I put that in the jacket and pack it into this.
Okay. Nice. That's good.
It's been a bit of an assembly line
Yeah.
in my house. Yeah, I've become very good at packing things. Maybe I've missed my calling.
That's awesome.
Also on the website, there are just some samples. I forget, 45 seconds or so of like, I think I picked 3 songs. Mm-hmm. So just you can hear that quality, you can get a feel of it. So there's some samples on there to listen to.
Part of the thing was, I think, and Adam can kind of, back this up as well, is this isn't a record filled with the stuff that the masses know. This is something put out for the diehard fans. And so, that's why you see stuff like Romeo Delight and Unchained. It's to try and get those deep cuts to the people. So yeah, I would say like the track list is it's awesome. And that's something else too that makes it special, is that it's not chock full of just kind of the radio stuff. It's got the deep cuts that the diehard fans really, really love. So
yep, 100%.
Yeah,
sure.
They never played Jump anyway.
Yeah.
Never played it, not one time.
Yeah.
And only played Eruption once, but that didn't get recorded, unfortunately.
Oh, the rehearsals, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I filmed it. I filmed it. It sounds great when you're watching it, but it's why if you're not visually seeing him, that Eruption just wasn't. It becomes a theme. It wasn't perfect.
Yeah. Oh, so they never played Jump at the rehearsals?
Not one time.
Wow. Really?
Yep.
So, amazing.
The only time Jump got mentioned was there was an old keyboard that looked like it was made for a kid. And again, I'm not the Van Halen historian, and Ed could tend to I feel like Ed's sense of humor, like sometimes maybe he was just kind of fucking with me. But it was this keyboard, and he played like some of Jump on it real quick.
Yeah.
And he just looks at me and goes, "Yeah, I recorded Jump on that keyboard." I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, bought it for $7 at a toy store." And I said, "No shit." He goes, "Yep, bought this house with it."
Incredible.
But if I'm preaching to the choir, but if anybody can take a $7 toy from a store in the 80s and figure out a way to rig it up and get a sound out of it and then make one of the biggest hit songs in fucking history, it's Ed. I guess all I should do is take a chance to apologize to everybody who had to wait so long. Yeah. I'm really sorry. I did stay in touch with everyone. But it was quite the process.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I hope everybody loves it, man. There's no singer, so fucking sing along.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I would say the other part would be that it's not all one rehearsal, so it's kind of encapsulates that journey of them prepping, from there's multiple months, multiple days. And so, yeah, you just you get a vibe of them going through the process, and instead of one day, it's a bit of everything, which is cool. And, taking the time to think about what the diehard fans want and still putting, some of the radio stuff on there as well. And just kind of trying to think about everything. Like, for example, the track list, in the early days, they used to open with Unchained a lot. Well, if you notice, Unchained is the very first song on side A. They also used to open with Romeo Delight a lot, which is the opening song on side B. So there's lots of little Easter eggs like that as well that were, every little detail was thought about. Andrew didn't mention the red and the black packing tape, I believe, but he's got there's some little homages there as well.
Not all of them, but there are some there's some ones that were packed with let's just say red and black tape.
So some lucky viewers to get those.
Yeah, but now you can see why, like, right away I was like, I have to bring Adam and Chris into this because I would not have known that about Unchained and Romeo Delayed. So
there you go.
Yeah, I'm glad I went to experts.
Yeah. That's really good. So thanks, Guy. Everyone, get onto the site and check it out.